Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
Well, for almost 30 years, the band Sanctus Real has brought amazing Christian songs like Confidence, My God is Still the Same, Lead Me, and Unstoppable God. And Dustin Lolli from the band joins us on Rise and Shine this morning. Dustin, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Oh, we're so thrilled that you could spend some time with us, Dustin. And we're excited to hear that the band is almost 30 years old. I mean, in Christian music, that is fantastic. Happy birthday, can we say? It's next year, but let's get in early. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. I mean, 30 years is it's funny. You get mixed feelings because it just means we're getting old.
No, you're still young.
Like, how do you stay in this business for 30 years? It is a miracle. We thank God for that strength. Now, I say all that because I'm speaking for my bandmates. I'm on year 10, which feels like a lot anyway. So for them to do two more decades than I is pretty incredible. But thank you. I think we're pretty excited about the 30 year. I mean, that's a mark that not many bands get to, and especially with some of the changes and challenges in the band's history and all those things. I think it's really cool. Mark and Chris, the other two members of the band right now, they're both originals. So it is 30 years for both of them. They've been through all of it. And I know them so well, obviously. And they're just great guys, stable. And you can't do this unless you have stability, right?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of artists.
I think a lot you said it's hard to last that long, but a lot of our audience would be surprised it's almost 30 years old. I was surprised, to be honest with you, because your music is still current. It still sounds very modern and edgy. So, I was actually going, wow, 30 years. You guys are still kind of reinventing yourselves and writing really good songs. I mean, the song on Spotify that I listen to the most is Confidence. It's had 124 million listens on Spotify. Not that anyone's counting, Dustin, but pretty amazing. and just for our audience too, you're the lead singer in the band. So are you involved in writing songs, Dustin, or are you just performing?
No, I'm one of the principal songwriters. It's one of the things I actually love to do more than anything. I actually write for other people as well. And it's funny because it was a late blooming thing. I was literally just having a talk with my wife the other day. Is a lot of singers are insecure about their voice. They're like, did I sound good? And I've never really been that way. Not that I think it's a great voice. I just never cared that much. I was like, oh, singing, God did that. I enjoyed doing it. I'm not worried. But songwriting was the thing. I always had this like apprehension because you're really putting yourself out there, right? And it's subjective anyway. And so when I joined the band, it was kind of amazing to me because I had been writing folk music. So I was not doing CCM Christian music. I was doing kind of a folky sound with my wife. We kind of still have a little bit of a side project. We love to sing together. Yeah. It's called This Way Home, and it's all this kind of music. So when I joined them, when they said, we want you to write, I mean, that was part of it. It wasn't just a lead singer. They said, we want you to come and be we're going to work together on everything. You're going to be a part of the creative process. That's actually the main reason I said yes.
Wow.
Because I don't ever want to just be a front man I don't want to be just the guy who sings. I never have. I've never wanted to just be a performer. Yeah. I love singing my own words. I like singing things that I believe in. And so to sing somebody else's words would feel very not real to me. I long answer to your question is it was amazing that from the very beginning they invited me into that process. And so I actually have been on every single Sanctus song since I joined 10 years ago, which is great.
And look, the latest of the songs that we're just launching at the moment and will come out on Vision soon, The Difference then. I actually love the heart behind this song. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're thinking as you write that song for us?
Songwriting is a unique thing, right? Like a lot of people have a process. Ours isn't quite what most people think. We just kind of go with, we don't have a set system. It's like, hey, if somebody has an idea, let's talk about that idea. Let's talk about where we're at in life. And if it hits, where we're at. So we always feel like we need to know what we're singing about. Because
that helps.
Which sounds weird, right? But you write songs of struggle. It's hard to sing those songs if you've never struggled. It's hard, but one of the things that we felt like God was taking us to was we would travel the country and we would just meet with people and talk to people. And we just felt like there was a lot of hopelessness in people, right? Situations get hard, people's lives, everyone's got their story. And while we want to share our story, it's hard for somebody else to really understand the emotional part of that story. And we just would hear this over and over. It's hard to keep hope. And we talk about it. I was a big part of it, just being like, hey, it's Jesus doesn't give us hope. He is our hope. We believe in him, and therefore we have hope. Like, that's the whole point of this thing, is he conquered death and hell, and he said there's a different kingdom. All that to say, our direction in writing songs has been with the listener in mind, of this message of hope. So we did songs like Dare to Hope and Victory. The song is all On the Mend, which is another one that just came out a few months ago. And then The Difference came, and it was kind of a similar thing. It always points back to, if I show any love, it's only because you first loved me. And the whole song is literally written and wrapped around this idea that the only reason that I can have hope, and maybe you don't, is one thing. It's that I believe in something greater than myself, right? And so that's where the song started from. It's kind of been crazy because we didn't write it thinking of it as a worship song that you'd play in church. That wasn't we weren't even thinking of that. We were thinking, hey, this is a great idea. This is Chris came up with that cool riff, and so we built this song trying to make it sound new and cool, but also coming up with an idea that we thought was meaningful for a lot of people. And we've been pleasantly surprised because we just get a lot of reports lately of it being used in church services, and some of the worship outlets are kind of grabbing onto it. And so that's been a pleasant surprise. But really, for us, it just starts with the message. It starts with this idea of the only thing that offers us hope, grace, peace, all of these things is just what we believe in.
I just so love that. And look, I've heard that you've been in a situation recently in a place where there isn't always a lot of hope. You've spent some time in jail, I believe.
Well, yes. Let me clarify that. No, the Bible is pretty clear on serving others and loving others, and even saying, when I was in prison, you visited me. And we got this. It's just kind of an incredible opportunity. And I'll just say this: I love this opportunity more because the people who did it are also rough around the edges. People who've been in dark scenarios, right? And it's not just Christian. They're bringing anybody who was willing to bring hope to people, right? And I love that. I was like, it's such a neat thing. So when they even contacted us, we were kind of shocked. We were like, we're not gritty. We're not like, but what an amazing experience. We were as a guy who grew up in church, I did some prison ministry when I was in ministry. Usually those things were pretty sanitized, and a couple prisoners coming in who were already believers. This was a different thing. This was not necessarily a Christian event.
Right.
And so it was full of other people. And it was just, when you go into that, we're so used to in the Christian world to using Christian language, right? Things that you and I understand. And that's not how you can't really do that in a prison. I laugh about this. I make this joke a lot. And like, if you tell a prisoner, like, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's freedom, the guards get upset with you.
Right.
Giving them any ideas, right? And so it was such a unique experience because you're just looking at it from, how do I offer hope to guys who are going to be in this jail forever?
Yes.
Because a lot of those guys were in for life.
Wow.
We have songs. Here's a pet peeve of a lot of artists, right? Most people know us for our big songs, right? They know you for the songs you named, right? The truth is, our favorite songs and songs that have messages that really endear to us are songs that are number 8 on the track list that nobody really listens to. And a lot of times they're more creative songs. So when Christian artists are like, everything sounds the same, they're not listening to our records, right? They're listening to our biggest songs. And we had these songs we have a song called Rebel, and we had this song called See in Me, which isn't even released yet. And they really speak to what these prisoners are going to a lot more. And we were able to play some of them, and the connection to them was kind of incredible. It was such an incredible difficult experience. You know, when you go in, they tell you watch your back, right? You think you're safe, and then the guards tell you, hey, always be on alert. These guys they're not all good guys. Watch your back. Yeah. And when I left there, even though it was a beautiful experience, when I left there, I actually did 2 days in a row because I sang with a buddy of mine who did it the next day. I went back, I was sore. My muscles were sore. I never felt scared or anything. But I was alert. And when I told the guard that I was sore, he said, yeah, because you don't understand. You were tense all day long and your muscles aren't used to that. Yeah. And I was like, what a crazy. And he said, that's what guards go through. And that's what a lot of prisoners deal with every day. Yeah. And it's perspective, man, putting yourself in situations and realizing these are humans who made mistakes, and a lot of them need Jesus really badly. Yeah. Well, good for you for going there, Dustin, because like you said, we can easily live in a Christian bubble where our audience is always Christian, our friends are always Christian, and that is evangelism, isn't it? Out there on the front lines. You know, one of your songs, I was at a youth camp maybe about 8-9 years ago, and someone used confidence as the basis. This young kid got up and preached from the song Confidence, and man, my son, who was about 13 at the time, put his hand up, received the Lord on the basis of a message about your song. So good. Sounds like God is using Sanctus Real, not only in prisons, mate, but your songs are obviously touching hearts all around the world. But it's it's really encouraging to hear that you guys took that step of faith and went out there and went to that jail. And a lot of not a lot, but we have audience in jails in Australia as well who listen to Vision. They read our publications as well. So good for you, my friend. Good for you. Thanks. Thank you. I don't know if I should take that compliment. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be doing, right? Yeah, that's right. I'm never sure, as weird as that sounds, I'm never sure how to respond because I'm always like, we did something good, but it's something we're supposed to do. Yeah, but at least you did it. At least you did it. Yeah, lots of us read that and go, well, that's for somebody else to do. So, congratulations, my friend. You acted like Jesus. Yes, you're actually a Christian. Well done. No, it is true. It is good. I wonder, one other question that I've always had in the back of my head, when we hear the name of your band, so Sanctus Real, and I realise that was named before your time, but it's an unusual name, Dustin. Like there's probably some names that you could have picked that are more obviously Christian or more obviously make sense. What is Sanctus Real? What's the name all about? Well, I can't answer that because I've heard the story 10,000 times at this point. Only 10,000. I think there's a song about that as well. I know, 10,000. Because every time we play, somebody asks that question. Yeah, that's right. It's such a unique name. It's a funny story because it's a story of the 1990s. When there was no Google, there was no internet. A long time ago in a galaxy far away. And there was this thing called a book. And it was aptly named a dictionary that you look up words, right? Really? I've never heard of that. Yeah, my kids would not have a clue. It's a physical book, people. Right. It's a physical book. And you read words rather than have AI or Google tell you how they're pronounced. Yes. Right? Right. You kind of have to look at it. And Mark, our drummer, who's still in the band, he was 18 years old and he was looking at a different word. He was trying to find a different word. He saw this word, sanctus, but it's, you and I might not know this. It's actually pronounced sanctus because it's Latin. Oh, well, we don't use it very often. It's sanctus. And most likely it's pronounced Latin. Sanctus, right? And so he saw it and he looked at the definition. The definition means to be set apart, right? Oh, that's good. But the thing that caught his eye was that it said it's a hymn of praise sung at the end of the Eucharistic liturgy. Now, when he tells you this story, he would say he had no idea what the word Eucharistic or liturgy meant at that point in his life. He's not alone, I think so. Right. All he saw was a hymn of praise, right? And so he thought they were just starting the band, and he thought, what a great idea for a band, right? Yeah, right. Now, if you guys probably know this, maybe some of your listeners don't, but when they first started in 1996, they were real, almost pop punk. Like it was rock. It wasn't. They've made some changes over the years, and so Mark just thought that was the coolest thing, and so he brought it back to the band, and he said, "I think we should name the band Sanctus." Not knowing that it should be Sanctus. So I apologize to everyone who we've made mispronounce the word. For 30 years now. Right. Yep. And there was a kid who was in the band. He was going to be a bass player, and he was 18 as well. So these were the older guys. And he just looked at Mark and said, I just feel like we should have the word real in the band name. Ah. And Mark, the way that Mark says, he goes, okay. And that's it.
That's it.
That was it. Like,
okay.
They didn't even talk about it. And so he just said Sanctus Real. And funny story is the guy who put Real in the band name left like 3 weeks later. So
he was unreal. He was out of there.
Yeah. He was too real.
So they're stuck with it, right? They're stuck with this thing. And what's funny is they had enough success early on that they felt like they couldn't change it because it was, I think they've always wanted to change their name. In fact, I know they have, but you can't. Once you get out there, you really can't. And so I think now it's cool. People like it. But we get this question a lot, and a lot of people mispronounce it. We mispronounce it. So there you go. But yes, it's Sanctus Real, but there's the story. Mark has told that story so many times. We time him now to see, we're trying to get it down to a minute.
I saw a book. I found a word, and this is it. What are the other names, though, Dustin? Can you tell us? What would it be if it wasn't Sanctus Real?
Oh my goodness! I listen. Chris tells me they had some band names. I don't know if it was this iteration of the band, but one of the first band names they had was Down at 16 because he was 16 years old.
Oh, that's cool. Down at 16.
But there's an obvious problem with that.
Yeah, you don't stay 16.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's true. At some point, it sounds a bit crazy. You could have changed the name every year.
Yeah.
So at some point, you don't want to own your name.
He told me they were going to also, they looked at the name, or they were for a short time, again, maybe different iterations of people, but Chocolate Mousse was one of them.
Chocolate Mousse, like, wow.
That's important.
That was a hungry era for the band.
Yeah. If it was Sanctus Real or Chocolate Mousse,
you went the right way, so I think.
Yeah. Chocolate Mousse helping to fight obesity all around the world,
So there you go.
Well, look, thank you so much, Dustin, for joining us on Rise and Shine. We love Sanctus Real. We're glad you stuck with the name because it's brilliant. At least it's very memorable, and we love everything that you're doing. Thank you so much. And we're hoping we can see you out in Australia sometime soon.
We would love that. We would absolutely love to get out there. I know we have fans out there. Yes. We just, it's a lot. It's a big thing. And so we just need to make it happen.
Yeah.
You do.
We've talked about it many times and it just has not come together. We just need to make it happen.
Okay. When you do, come visit us. We'll get you some chocolate mousse, as that sounds like it's what powering the band.
Yep.
But there's lots of great Aussie food that we can try. We'd love it if you would, and we'd love to have you here in the studio.
I'd love it. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for having me on.
Well, Dustin Lolli from Sanctus Real, so good to have you on the show today and looking forward to our next chat sometime in the future as well. Thanks again for your time, mate.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.